Are you putting limits on God? I know what you're thinking. How can anyone do that? I mean, He's God. He can do whatever He wants. How can you put a limit on that? But in actual fact, you can. You can put a limit on God through your low expectations of what He can do in and through you. You see, God has chosen to work with man and through man. But your low expectations can put a lid on that. And an awful lot of Christians have low expectations of God. And the reason that happens is because we've believed the lie that our future will be a continuation of our past. So if we haven't seen a lot of answers to prayer or miracles in the past, we just assume it's not going to happen. So we have no expectation, we stop asking or praying for it, and our faith level becomes low. But if you're a Christian, your future is not going to be a continuation of your past, because we're a new creation. We're walking with God. Anything can happen. And remember, Jesus said that when He went back to heaven, that we could do greater things than He did. Well, that just blows my mind. But that means that we can expect to do greater things and to do amazing things when we're walking with God. So that it's beyond our expectation of what God could do in and through us. But I know you're saying, oh, that all sounds good, but that's just for the ministry superstars. That could never happen to me. Well, I've been studying the life of some of the current ministry superstars like Bill Johnson, Heidi Baker, Randy Clark, and they all started out just like us. They were just normal people. When their ministry started, they weren't famous, they weren't seeing any miracles, and they were quite discouraged. But they heard stories and testimonies of what God was doing in other places where miracles were taking place. And that stirred their expectation. They became hungry. They said, if it happens there, it could happen here. It could happen to me. So they started to pray with expectation. And after a long period of frustrating wait, it did start to happen. And so now miracles are commonplace in their ministries. But they changed their expectation and prayed differently. Now, the Bible says that Elijah, who was this tremendous Bible hero who called down fire from heaven, the Bible says that he was a man just like us, and he could do incredible miracles. So yes, it can happen to you, but you have to raise your expectation and get hungry for more. Now, years ago, God spoke to me very clearly and very emphatically, and He said to me, pray bigger prayers. Well, He was clearly telling me to raise my expectation of what He could do in and through me. So I have, and I have seen some real breakthroughs, but I still haven't seen the greater things that He promised. So I want more. So, if you want to live a supernatural lifestyle, you need to let God out of the box that you've put Him in by your low expectations and start to pray bigger prayers. Now I want to hear from you. How have you let God out of the box, and how are you raising your expectations? Just leave your comments in the box below. And if this is your first visit here, you need to get my free self-assessment guide. And to do that, just subscribe to my weekly email newsletter, and you know where the form is. And I'll talk to you again next week. But this week, raise your expectations of what God can do in and through you. Get hungry for more. Pray bigger prayers.